Yes, hello. This is a serious video. So it's an update, of course, on Alejandra Ayala, who's put in a coma by Hannah Rankin. It must be almost 2 weeks ago now, maybe to the day, right? Now, she was put in an induced coma. I'll just, go over it quickly in case people don't know the background. So, Hannah Rankin, an alleged world champion from Scotland. I say alleged because women's boxing, was so poor. But they brought over this girl called Alejandra Ayala, who'd never won a fight against women opposition, a winning opposition, except one girl who had a 2-0 record. They were both against debutantes. She'd never beaten any world-class opponent. She got dealt with brutally by Savannah Marshall in 3 rounds. DK, I think she's a world champion. I don't know if she was when they fought. Outpointed her and beat her every single round. With 2 fights. She had no place to beat her. She looked out of shape, right? And the main thing is she had a brain scan in the UK before she fought Marshall, and they found a 3mm possible tumor in her brain. Now later on, and they sent an email. They were aware of this, the British Boxing Board of Control. They sent an email back to the Mexican board to say, look, you should know about this. I don't know why on earth they let anyone fight, especially a young puncher who fought in higher divisions. Ayala fought as low as lightweight. But they still let her fight. She got knocked out. And they sent a message back, a guy from the board, to the Mexican board to say, look, you just be aware of this possible anomaly. Now, I've already gone through this. You can see this in the other video. I don't need to go through this again. But she's put in a coma. Now, what really disgusts me is, there's been zero news on this, hardly. In the mainstream, they reported it a bit. She fell into a coma. I've looked at it since. She's come out of a coma, thank God, I would say. And obviously, Ayala is out of the coma. That doesn't mean she's out of the woods. She's put in an induced coma anyway, and she's awake. I mean, there's no details. There's hardly any mentions, by the way, in the mainstream media. Big publications. About her waking up. Those that do, they just say, "Oh, it's great news. It's woken up. She's woken up, and she's blinked, or she's opened her eyes." I mean, they don't give any further damage. We don't know. What's the long-term damage? What are the brain functions like? Will she need care for the rest of her life? We don't know any of this. He hasn't followed it up. I'm so disgusted. By the publications, especially the mainstream media. All they do is push women's boxing. And then when something happens like this, instead of being absolutely outraged and asking the British Boxing Board needs to be taken to task, why have you let her go? With a brain anomaly fight 4 years ago, and the doctor from the Mexico said these kind of tumors can grow 5 times the size by the time, from the time maybe up to 10 times the size by the time 4 years has passed, which is what happened since this anomaly got discovered by the board. So what happened when she came out? They just let her fight? Did they do any new tests on her? I can guarantee they didn't. The reason I say that is because some statements would have been made. I mean, it's not 100%. But why the board say nothing? All they've said, there's nothing on their website, anything like that, right? And this is the real telling one. And this is a personal attack on Boxing News. Now, Boxing News used to be a respected paper. Harry Mullen, used to run it. He was the last great guy, I'd say, editor. They had Claude Abrahams. He was okay. Tris Dixon, who was just a sellout, poor writer. It got bought by NewsQuest, right? So it stopped being independent. So they couldn't really talk about things independently. They got to push the agenda. All the publications do. They're under the wing. So all we've had is women's boxing. There's this new editor called Matt Christie, who's a creepy looking guy anyway. I'm sure he's fine, but he looks like a nonce. And all he does is he said it was so over the top. He said how Serrano Taylor was the most exciting fight ever. 3 rounds could be considered rounds of the year. I mean, I must be watching a different fight. He's going about how great it was. It's restored faith in boxing. No, it hasn't, man. People that know, like me, like the Triple B, watch that nonsense and go, this is very ordinary. There are club fighters, male club fighters who walk through them. Yeah. But, you know, so they love their women's boxing because they have to push it. Yeah. And when one recent boxing news I counted, out of the 40 pages, 10 of them were purely devoted to women's boxing. Yeah. So where's the report on this poor girl who's been injured? Yeah. So these are always major news and they're a threat to boxing. Why even not report on it? Yeah. That creepy nonce looking, Matt Christie, the editor, said nothing about it in the editor's page. Nothing. Not even, I hope she gets better. I've heard she's got better. Nothing. Yeah. I got it I got a Kindle version, so I searched. Yeah. The previous one, that's after I think she'd just been injured, so they just said, I'm sorry, you know, we heard she had to go to hospital. But where's the update? There's no update. The only mention of the fight is just a Hannah Rankin. Oh, fights we'd like to see. We'd like to see Hannah Rankin v someone else. What? What about this girl, Ayala? What, is she nothing? She's just a body now? Yeah? You haven't mentioned. You're obsessed with this. And you got this John Denon, who's this extremely creepy guy. Like I said, he's obsessed with women's boxing. All he does, he goes to the amateur section, it's almost all women. Yeah? And then this creepy guy Denon, yeah? He's Oxford, I think, University, right? Now, you know, I can't stand Oxbridge people, right? Because they're super arrogant, yeah? And they think they're intellectually superior. Now, all they've done, yeah, is have links, usually have some kind of link to the universities, yeah? Or do a blinding interview, fluke an interview, and work their butt off, yeah, to get the A-levels. They're just hard workers, man. Yeah, they're not morons. Every single Oxbridge guy, yeah, thinks that they should be given the world. Yeah? And a load of them that have just become bums. Right? Yeah, they had their glory days at Oxbridge and they come out to the real world and find out it's different. Yeah. Now, John Denon, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's quite a guy. When I look at him, I think, you know what? You're the guy who spends, you know, almost no money in a month. Yeah, saves up, you know, sits there on his own watching probably women's boxing or like, you know, some kind of X-rated stuff on the internet of women beating men like dominatrixes, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, and then on payday, he spends 2 days in like a prison, being whipped and brown showered and yellow showered, yeah, by a dominatrix, something like that. Sometimes you can just see when you look at some, yeah. And this John Dennon's obsessed with women's boxing. That's all he writes about. He's like the women's boxing editor. Yeah, and I think he's the second most senior guy there. Yeah? Why haven't you written, John, you creepy? Why haven't you written about this poor woman? Yeah, who's been almost killed, had to have 2 operations, was brought over. There are anomalies in her brain scans. And the board let her fight, even though she had no right to be in there with a world-class fighter at all. Yeah, she'd never had a win against someone with a winning record. Yeah, all her wins, I looked at it, was overall, her opponents had an overall record of 30 wins and like over 80 losses. Just bum city. Yeah? You don't even question the match, which you should do. What did happen in men's boxing? You know, that's not even no Rocky stuff. At least Rocky beat Spider Rico. Yeah? It's like pulling some utter stiff off the streets and throwing him in, you know. Let him fight Triple G. Oh, yeah, that's fine. It's no problem. Probably fine. Oh, and he had a brain anomaly. That's okay. Throw him in against Triple G. Yeah, I'm not saying Rankin's Triple G. Obviously, she's a bassoonist, yeah, who seems to have taken lots of male... I don't know, she's suddenly become really masculine from her bassoonist days. Yeah, and, you know, she's just yet another fake woman boxer, you know, just no good and just feasts on low-grade opposition, yeah? That's a different story, but she put someone else... Where are all these people? The board? Why aren't Boxing News questioning the board? Or even writing about it in the editorial? Not even saying, I hope you get better. They've written nothing on her. Yeah? Yeah? Well, they're all part of the establishment. It doesn't fit the narrative. Yeah, they want to say how great women's boxing is and go over the top and waste pages on this nonsense. But when a woman get hurt, badly hurt, almost killed, they don't mention it at all. I'm calling you out on Boxing News, you weirdo, creepy-looking Matt Christie who's never boxed. John Denon boxed as an amateur for Oxford, whatever that means. You know, that doesn't mean anything, man. There's people that haven't boxed, you know, that know a lot about boxing. Yeah, but this is very different. I mean, this is deliberately pushing how great women's boxing is. When there's a big hiccup, you haven't mentioned it, and you talk about someone's life. Yeah? You should be asking questions. You should be demanding. Yeah? There should be a petition to go to the boxing board. What's happening with this girl? Instead, we get nothing. Yeah? What's that thing? Tumbleweed. We hear nothing. Yeah. Now, the only article I could find of any value, yeah, on this poor girl in the situation, is on Boxing Social. Now, I didn't see a video about it. I don't think they've released a video, but a guy called Craig Scott has written an article. Alejandra Ayala is awake. What now? It's written on 27th of May. He calls into question. Well, he says what the Triple B says. I'm not even funny. He's probably been watching the videos. No, I'm not laughing. But you know, he talks about why a woman, yeah, who had no business being there was thrown in. Yeah. Why, and he even mentions the name, Dennis Gilmartin, the ultra-experienced veteran of the sport and supervisor, wrote to the authorities 10 days after Ayala's defeat to Marshall about the tumour. He's asking, why wasn't it followed up? Yeah. It says here, the article, this is, by the way, an article written by a Mexican neurosurgeon, and he's saying that the tumours 3 millimeters in size could have grown between 1.5 and 2 centimeters in size over 4 years. Yeah. So what's happening? What's happening? This is a question to the board. Did you put her through scans knowing that? I bet they didn't, man. Yeah, anyway, this guy, Craig, I reached out to the British Boxing Board of Control's Scottish area with these 2 questions as written below. Number 1, would the board generally accept foreign medical records from Mexico in this instance, or are they scrutinised or gone through with a level of detail to ascertain authenticity? In other words, saying, if she came with proofs of scan, surely, Mexico can be a bit dodgy. Surely you should have thought about it, especially knowing that this poor girl had a brain anomaly. Yeah. Number 2, would a fighter like Ayala, previous knocked out on a British show, with findings of some concern on the scan, not cause concern when she revisited the UK to compete on May the 13th? Yeah. Would that prior finding set off any alarm bells, or would it be overlooked due to her fit-to-box status from Mexico? Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's been quite nice, frankly. Yeah, but he's put it very cordially, and officially, And this is the British Boxing Board of Control's response. Nothing. They haven't got back to him. Now, I don't know when this was sent, right? So, the board are allowed time to respond to things. It's not easy, but they know they know they messed up, man. They know they messed up. And what's worse is that no one, who should be in a position, not boxing news, not newspapers are asking, not idiots like Steve Bunce who've been buoying up female boxing, Where are you, Steve Bunce? Where are you, IFL TV, on this? The serious news, instead of filming like stupid guys offering each other out and nah. Where's the real questions here? Only the Triple B and this guy from Boxing Social has been asking, what was that woman doing in the ring? No one had an anomaly. Did you make her take further scans? What were the Mexican papers that she came with, if she came with? Tell us. You've messed up. And why has this not been talked about? I know the answer to that. It doesn't fit the narrative. Yeah? What's going to happen? I don't know, man. The British Boxing Board of Control should be sued terribly. I know they almost went bust. And I think when the Watson situation, they were called into question. Yeah? And whether or not they've done something bad. And if action was going to be taken, they knew they'd go bust. They're a private company, by the way, the British Boxing Board of Control. They're self-governed. They're self-appointed. People think it's some official organisation. They're not an official organisation voted in. I could do it and do a better job probably. Apparently they got. I'm going to check this out in a minute. But apparently they got £1 million cash in the bank. Well, let's hope that Ayala gets some of it, man, because something's clearly gone wrong here. Yeah, and the BBC are not our wrong uns as well. So they released she's out of the coma thing. And it's just all a tiny article, mainly about Rankin, saying, "Oh, our best wishes are with this brave warrior," Rankin tweeted. We'll be on the hand to support her in any way we can. I mean, that's an old tweet anyway, right at the beginning. Yeah. And Rankin has put up something saying, "Oh, well done, she's come out of it." But as I said, we don't know what's going to happen to this girl, what the real long-term injuries are. And she shouldn't have been boxing anyway, let alone against world champion. You know, another publication, I can't remember which one it was, I looked at when I was trying to find news, yeah, about you know, the latest news on how Ayala was doing. And what they said was, oh, thankfully she's out of a coma. Yeah. Again, not actually addressing the problems of the the post-coma situation. And they said, and what a great thing is that we've got the British Boxing Board of Control, that a stringent, no joke, I'm going to try, I didn't bookmark this thing, but they were saying, yeah, they were actually, I think it was Metro, you know, and they were saying, like, they were thanking God almost, yeah, for the British Boxing Board of Control, because without the stringent, you know, post-fight procedures and paramedics being there, you know, who knows what might have happened. It's disgusting, man. Yeah, and I'm just looking on Sky Sports again now. There's a big article on her being woken up from an induced coma, right? It's about a small paragraph on it. The rest of it is about Hannah Rankin and who she's going to fight next. Unbelievable, man. Got no respect for this woman's life. Yeah? Yeah? And again, boxing news, why haven't you covered this at all, you creepy nonsense? Why doesn't anyone buy a rubbish thing? I got it on the only reason I still got boxing news because I bought a subscription online, yeah, what it's called, an iPad jobby, yeah, on my tablet. I mean, the days when it was a good paper are long gone. And it's not surprising when those two freaks and weirdos, Matt Christie, yeah, and John Dennon, who don't seem to care about women almost dying in boxing, yeah. But they'll fill up the paper with pictures of female amateur boxers no one's ever heard of and female European championship wins and stuff. Yeah, you're wrong uns.